So, technology is constantly changing the best practices in education. So, there's a need for a dialogue among educators. Educators on Twitter have no doubt heard about hashtag EdChat, the most popular hashtag used among educators as ranked by Getting Smart. That's why we're honored today to have hashtag EdChat co founder Shelly Sanchez Terrell join us in the EdTech Lounge. Shelly is a teacher trainer, speaker, author of the 30 Goals Challenge for Teachers. She was named Woman of the Year 2014, awarded a BAMI Award, and recognized by Tech and Learning as one of the top 10 most influential educator entrepreneurs. So welcome, Shelly.
Well, thank you for that great intro. I'm glad to be here.
Why'd you pick EdChat? What's the story behind this?
I was following this great leader, Tom Whitby, and he kept getting asked a lot of questions and getting into these big debates and arguments. So Tom private messaged me, he DM'd me a direct message and asked me, I have so many different types of arguments and debates online with teachers. I'd really like to find a way for us to just have lots and lots of educators join in. How can we do that? So I proposed, well, we have to have the hashtag. And then from there, with Twitter, the hashtag, the number of characters is really important. So
right.
It was really important that, education, chat, make that as short as possible.
When you started hashtag EdChat, did you ever expect it to be as big as it is today?
I knew somehow it would have an impact because anytime you gather a bunch of passionate educators online, then great things are going to happen.
What are some of your most memorable stories related to hashtag EdChat?
We decided to invite Alfie Kohn to be part of the conversation, which is this great author and speaker. And we were doing an ed chat on homework, and he's written a lot of books about no homework. So when we had him on, we actually became a trending topic. And I believe that was the very first ed chat. And it was just phenomenal because education wasn't a trending topic back then, but for that one it was. And I believe we had over 1,000 participate, or it was really exciting.
Can you talk a little bit about your own education background?
Well, I started in Texas, and I'm back in Texas. Then I moved to Germany. So then I did my master's through an online course, which was really, really different, doing a master's that way. I learned a lot about online communication, collaborating, because anytime I had to collaborate online, it was just a tragedy. It didn't work out well. So I learned how to be better with tools and be able to collaborate.
What was the driving force behind creating 30 goals?
Education is really different in Germany. So I wanted to make sure that one of the first instances when I was teaching young learners, for example, it was just a nightmare, and I ended up crying, and I thought, wow, I've been teaching for over 10 years, what's going wrong? And what I found out was that I need to constantly be motivating myself to go there and to keep learning. I think I had gotten to a really comfortable place where I thought, oh, I'm a veteran teacher. I can handle any students. I've been doing this for years. And so that's where it came from. Just small, achievable goals that you do every single day to just remind you and to keep you up to date and current.
Can you talk a little bit about breaking up, something that's a big goal into a bunch of smaller ones, and how that helps you feel motivated or stay motivated?
When we accomplish something such as classroom motivation, and you high five every student, and that's the goal, very achievable. High five or fist bump or handshake every student, make them feel good. Okay, then after that experience, teachers can manage that. They reflect on it and they saw, well, what was the great outcome? Well, some students said they felt really down. In one case, a student was thinking they were going to commit suicide and then didn't because the teacher recognized them that day. Some really powerful things. Yeah, exactly.
Wow.
So it's pretty amazing. And often we think with students, these small things, just achieving that in a class period isn't a big deal, but for that student, it is a big deal. And that was the great thing about the 30 goals is that every day there is something to celebrate.
Those are some incredible stories. How do we motivate students in the same way?
In the movies, you see where they get, a pamphlet or something, and then it's destructible, afterwards.
The
it's
top
really
secret
exciting.
document that will self-destruct in 5 seconds. Yes.
Exactly. But they're given technology or tools to accomplish the mission. You're going to learn fractions. This is your mission. And it's not learning fractions, but it gives them a mission. Like, for example, go out and you're going to cook a recipe, and this recipe is going to be for, to help serve someone with a special dietary need. You're going to create a social media profile for a historical figure, and you're going to manage their profile with someone from the past. So it's all of these kind of missions, but they learn reading, writing, math.
How do you do that with the limited time that teachers have already to even do prep?
Teachers, they have to align their curriculum to whatever policy is there or curriculum. And the way that I usually deal with that is usually I think about something that I think is just really exciting. That's going to be something that they would do normally in the classroom, like maybe a poster presentation or something like that. I try to find a way that technology makes it better. And then I go back and I look at the objectives and then align them that way. Because for me, it's like the rich learning is the most important, Do
you have a particular goal that is most popular, or people, kind of write the most comments about?
One of the goals was once to ask students, if they had any questions and just listen to them. And in that particular one, a teenage student actually told the teacher that he just thought that was so amazing that she asked him what he thought, what was his opinion, and just asked him about himself. And he said he had never had a teacher ask him a question like that. And so when you get responses from students like that, those are the ones that give you those responses. So those are the ones I think teachers really, really enjoy.
What do people use to share stories online?
There's more technology now and trends that teachers are getting excited about that have to do with video reflection, like Periscope, there's Flipgrid, there's a bunch of them out there. But I really find that it's those writing reflections, because then other teachers can go, they can read that, they can digest what it is. And when they read that story, they think, wow, that's me. And they're going through the same thing I'm going through. And then they have the time to respond.
Do you see certain types of big trends happening in the world of EdTech?
You see things like 3D printers, you see maker spaces, and what goes with maker spaces, things like robotics and coding, and where kids actually get to do things hands-on, and learning programming, and even with wearables and all this other technology coming out. And I think that that's the way it's going to be, because teachers and even schools and leaders are realizing that if we want more in STEM fields, if we want more innovators, if we want to solve problems, then we really do have to get the students to be able to do more than just like fill a bubble in a test.
What could we do to better prepare their 21st century skills?
You're getting them to use technology, and not just to do things like take a quiz, but they're actually problem solving with it. They're writing, and not only Skyping, but they're actually doing global collaboration projects. They're learning about each other. They're doing class debates. They're creating. They're using maker spaces to actually make something, not just a model, but something that solves a problem. And I think that's what great schools do.
Are there good practices that you've seen where they can incorporate social media into the classroom?
With Facebook, students can actually create a social media profile for a store. And the teacher doesn't have to worry about, it being a real social media profile or anything like that. Schoology, Edmodo, Google Classroom. These are really great, replicas of what they're doing on social media, except it's protected and it's for educational purposes. And so I definitely think all classrooms, even very young, and I'll even say kindergarten, need some kind of virtual learning environment.
Do you have any advice for people who are trying to prepare, say, young learners, maybe pre-COPPA compliance, like before 13 years of age, to become ready to go on the main social media sites?
Edshelf.com. It's like a Google search engine for web tools for educators. They're reviewed.
Like a bookshelf for educators.
Yeah, it's like awesome. You can type in, I teach fourth grade, I need an iPad app that does digital storytelling, and it's going to give you a list of them that are teacher reviewed, and then it's going to tell you, whether they're free or not. You can even put, I need something free. You can put Chromebooks, anything like that. Commonsense.org is another great resource. And they also have what used to be called Graphite, where they review as well. So I would definitely do that. And then I would, look at teachers' blogs, read them regularly, or look at different shows like this one, and they'll learn a lot that way as well.
If people want to be involved with something like an ed chat, what's the best way to do that?
You can Google a hashtag. Click on it. It's probably going to give you the Twitter link, and then just browse through it. And just browsing through it, you'll find other hashtags. You'll find people to follow. You'll see blogs. You'll just see so many insights. And once a teacher is really comfortable lurking, then they can dive in and try one of the chats, because the smaller chats are very welcoming, and you meet a lot of people there, a lot of great educators doing really great things.
We're really honored to have you today, and thank you so much for your time.
Well, thank you for having me.